Picture this. It's 1999. A chrome-laden International 9300 Eagle rolls off the lot for the last time. The trucker driving it doesn't know he's bought a collector's item, or that International just made the worst business decision in their 97-year history. So what happened? It started with an EPA mandate nobody saw coming, led to a backroom deal with a diesel engine that didn't work, and ended with one of the most catastrophic product launches in trucking history, the king of the open road. If you were a truck driver in the late 1980s, you knew exactly what the International 9300 was. It was the truck you wanted if you wanted to look like a boss. While other companies were starting to experiment with weird, rounded shapes, International kept it classic. The 9300 had a massive, square hood and vertically stacked headlights that made it look mean coming down the road. This truck was part of the famous 9000 series, a range of trucks that International built from 1971 all the way until 2017. But the 9300 held a special place in the hearts of drivers. The 1971 revolution. To understand why the 9300 had to die, we have to go back to where it all started. In 1971, International Harvester introduced the TranStar 4200 and 4300 series. This was a massive shift for the company. They were replacing the old Emeryville cab that had been around since 1957. The TranStar brought a whole new cab design to the market. You could get it in a standard length as the 4270 or an extended hood version called the 4370. This was the birth of the 9000 series. Back then, International wasn't just a truck company. They were still International Harvester, the giants of the farm world. They built their trucks with the same never say die attitude they used for their tractors. In those early days, you could get these trucks with some of the biggest diesel engines ever put in a road vehicle. We are talking about the Cummins NH Inline 6 and even a Detroit diesel 12V71 V12 that pushed out 434 horsepower. In 1971, that was an insane amount of power. They even offered a 1150 cubic inch Cummins KT engine later in the 70s. This foundation of power is what made the 9000 series a legend. But as the 80s rolled around, the company went through a huge change that gave the 9300 its real identity. Navistar and the birth of the 9300. In 1984, International Harvester went through a massive corporate shift and became Navistar International. Along with the name change, they rebranded their trucks. The old TranStar 4370 became the International 9370. This was the start of the second generation of these heavy-duty machines. The 9370 was a beast. It kept the old cab structure but added a much more prominent hood and that iconic grille. You could tell it was a 9370 from a mile away because of those vertically stacked headlights. It looked like a skyscraper on wheels. Then, in 1989, International simplified the naming system again, and the 9370 officially became the International 9300. For a few years, the 9300 was the top of the mountain. It was the truck that showed everyone that International could build a luxury highway conventional that could compete with Peterbilt and Kenworth. It was strong, it was shiny, and it was fast. But while the 9300 was enjoying its time in the sun, a new threat was being developed in the International Design Studio. A threat that would eventually make the 9300 obsolete. The aerodynamic threat. Imagine it is 1990. Fuel prices are a major concern for trucking companies. Drivers want to save money, and big fleets want to burn less diesel. International looked at the 9300 and realized it was basically a giant brick. It had zero aerodynamics. Every time it hit the wind at 70 miles per hour, it was fighting a losing battle. So, in 1990, International launched the 9400. This was their first Class 8 aerodynamic conventional truck. It had a sloped hood and a setback front axle. It didn't look as cool as the 9300 to some people, but it cut through the air much better. International even added skirted fuel tanks to make it even more slippery in the wind. This was the beginning of the end. International now had two trucks in the same class. One was built for style and tradition, the 9300, and the other was built for the future and fuel savings, the 9400. For a while, they sold both side by side. But the 9400 started to take over. It proved that you could have a heavy-duty truck that didn't look like a box. The 9300 was starting to look like a dinosaur, and International was about to make a move that would upset a lot of fans. The 1993 mistake? By 1993, International was leaning hard into the aerodynamic shift. They decided to make a major change to the 9300. They dropped the setback front axle configuration for that model entirely. They wanted to push people toward the 9400 and the new 9200, which was a shorter hood version of the 9400. The 9200 was meant to be the regional workhorse, while the 9400 was for long haul. The 9300 was left in a weird spot. It was the old design that was getting fewer updates. While the 9400 and 9200 were getting new grills and bumpers in 1997, the 9300 was mostly ignored. Drivers noticed. The people who loved the square hood look felt like International was abandoning them. They started looking at other brands that still offered that classic style. International knew they were losing that segment of the market, but they had a plan. They weren't just going to let the square hood truck die, they were going to replace it with something even bigger. But first, the 9300 had to go. 1999, the beginning of the end. In 1999, the axe finally fell. International officially stopped production of the 9300. In its place, they introduced the International 9900. To the casual observer, they looked very similar. They both had the long, square hood. But the 9900 was a completely different animal under the skin. The 9900 was designed to be the ultimate premium truck. It had twin headlights surrounded by chrome trim that were fared right into the fenders. It looked more modern, but it still kept that large car feel that drivers loved. It was the truck that was supposed to make everyone forget about the 9300. But why did they have to kill the 9300 name and design? It came down to something called the NGV cab. International wanted to move all of their trucks to a unified cab design. By having one main cab structure, they could save millions of dollars in manufacturing. The 9300 used an older cab design that was becoming too expensive to keep producing for just one model. It was a cold, hard business decision. The 9300 died so the company could survive in a more competitive world. The I-Series evolution. Just 1 year after the 9300 was killed, International launched the third generation of their highway trucks in 2000. These were known as the I-Series. You had the 9100i, 9200i, 9400i, and the top-of-the-line 9900i and 9900iX. The I stood for improvement, and there were a lot of them. They moved the firewall of the cab forward to give the driver more room. They replaced the old two-pane flat windshield with a single-piece, curved design. This made the truck much quieter and gave the driver a better view of the road. They even lowered the base of the windshield and the door windows so you could see better when turning in tight spots. The 9900i was the closest thing to the spirit of the 9300. It had that massive 120-inch distance from the bumper to the back of the cab. If you wanted something even bigger, the 9900iX had a 130-inch hood and only came in the premium Eagle trim. These trucks were beautiful, but the world was changing again. The government was introducing new emissions rules, and the I-Series was about to face its toughest challenge yet: the Breaking Bad connection. While the 9000 series was being phased out in the real world, it was becoming a star on TV. If you have ever seen the show Breaking Bad, you might remember a very important scene involving a truck. In the episode Dead Freight, the characters use an International 9000 series truck to block a train track for a massive heist. In the show, the truck is driven by Patrick Cuby and Todd Alquist. They use a secret kill switch hidden under the dashboard to make it look like the truck had a mechanical failure right on the tracks. This allows them to stop the train and steal a huge amount of chemicals. This TV appearance showed just how iconic the 9000 series had become. It was this simple truck that everyone recognized. It was a symbol of heavy-duty American power. Even though the 9300 was gone, its DNA was still all over the screen. But back in the real world, International was about to stop making these trucks forever. The final production run. Starting in the mid-2000s, International began a slow process of killing off the entire 9000 series. They wanted to move everyone to their new NGV cab trucks like the ProStar and the LoneStar. The 9100i was the first to go in 2002, replaced by the 8000 series. Then, the aerodynamic 9400i was discontinued in 2007, followed by the 9200i in 2011. Both were replaced by the ProStar, which was much more fuel efficient but lacked the classic soul of the older trucks. For a few years, The only survivor was the 9900i Eagle. It was the last of the Mohicans. By 2017, the final 9900i rolled off the assembly line. It was fitted with a Cummins ISX-15 engine that could put out 600 horsepower. It was a powerhouse until the very last day. After 46 years of production, the line that started with the TranStar in 1971 was dead. International ended production entirely with no direct successor. A piece of trucking history was gone for good. The LoneStar legacy. So what happened to the role of the big, extended hood international truck? That job was taken over by the International LoneStar, which was introduced in 2009. The LoneStar is a very different kind of truck. It is an aerodynamic conventional, but it was designed to look like the classic international trucks from the late 1930s. It has a massive, rounded grille and a shape that is unlike anything else on the road. It is a love-it-or-hate-it design. Some drivers think it looks amazing, while others miss the simple, square lines of the 9300 and 9900. But the LoneStar is what happens when you combine modern wind tunnel testing with old-school style. The LoneStar is a great truck, but it marked a permanent shift in how International builds machines. They no longer build trucks that are just simple trucks. Everything now is about integrated powertrains, connected vehicle tools, and electrification. The world of the 9300, where a driver could fix most things with a basic set of tools, is mostly a memory now. The millions of miles verdict. The 9300 and the 9900 that followed, it were some of the most reliable trucks ever made. Because they used simple, heavy-duty components, they were easy to keep on the road. It is not uncommon to see these trucks still working today with 2 or 3 million miles on the clock. If you are looking for a truck in 2026 that will actually reach 1 million miles, you have to look for that same philosophy. You need an engine like the Cummins 6.7-liter or the X15 that focuses on durability over fancy gadgets. You need a frame that can handle the stress of heavy hauls year after year. The 9300 didn't die because it was a failure. It died because it was too honest for a world that wanted to save every penny on fuel. It was a victim of its own classic design. But for the people who still drive them, the 9300 is the best truck International ever built. It represents a time when the road was wide open and the truck you drove said everything about who you were. How to find a 9300 today? If you want to own a piece of this history, you better have a good eye and a lot of patience. Because they were so durable, many 9300s were worked to death. Finding one that isn't rusted out or completely worn out is getting harder every year. Most of them are now in the hands of collectors or small farm operations where they don't have to run 100,000 miles a year anymore. If you see one at a truck show, take a look at the detail on the grille and the way the cab is built. It is a masterclass in how to build a heavy-duty tool that also looks like a work of art. When you sit in the cab of an old 9300, you realize why International had to move on. The visibility isn't great compared to a modern truck. It is noisy. It is bumpy. But when you hit the throttle and hear that engine roar through those straight pipes, none of that matters. You feel like you are part of the machine. That is something that a modern, aerodynamic truck can never give you. The business of survival. In the end, International's decision to kill the 9300 was about survival. By 1999, the company couldn't afford to keep building old cab designs. They had to simplify. They had to innovate. If they hadn't moved toward models like the 9400 and the 9900i, they might not be around today to build the electric trucks and high-efficiency engines of the future. The story of the 9300 is the story of the entire trucking industry. It is a constant move toward more efficiency, more safety, and more technology. But every time we move forward, we lose a little bit of the soul that made us fall in love with trucks in the first place. International is still a giant in the world of trucks, buses, and engines. They are committed to the road ahead, as they say. But for many of us, the best road was the one we traveled in the 9300. It was a truck that didn't care about wind resistance. It only cared about getting the job done and looking good while doing it. The reason International killed the 9300 was simple. They needed a unified cab to save money and better aerodynamics to save fuel. The 9300 was a masterpiece of style, but the 9900 and the I series were the reality of a changing market. Everything we have looked at today shows that in the world of heavy trucks, you either change or you get left behind. The 9300 chose not to change, so it became a legend instead of a survivor. but its impact on how we think about large car style still influences designers today. But knowing why International killed their best truck is only the start of the story. If you want to see the trucks that are actually ruling the road in 2026 and which engines are the new diamond standards for reliability, you need to watch this next video right here. It will show you the exact models that are hitting 1,000,000 miles today. I'll see you over there.